What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to a different type of video. I'm going to be describing how credit has changed my life, how you're able to get a car all on credit while doing a POV drive in my brand new Corvette C8, in which I just purchased at 20 years old. So if your dream is to get a car, how to leverage your credit score to your advantage, just sit tight and I'll be explaining everything there is to know about credit. So first, to get started, what is your credit score? All your credit score is, guys, is a 3-digit number that determines your credit worthiness to banks and lenders. Your credit score ranges from 300 to 850. 850 being the absolute best and 300 being the absolute worst. So take a look at your credit score right now, and the higher it is to 850, or the higher your credit score is, that's how much trust the banks have in you with other people's money. Because the only way to build credit is by being responsible with other people's money. So let's say different types of credit is going to be your mortgage, is going to be your credit card, your charge card, installment loans, student loan, car loans, house loans, everything like that. So whenever it comes to you using other people's money, that's when your credit score is going to automatically generate. So I would recommend this, guys. Apply for a credit card as soon as possible, because that's the easiest and most tangible way for you to build up your credit score. That's the easiest way. Be responsible with the payment due date and the statement closing date of your credit cards. And from there, you're going to be building up your credit score, because you're using the bank's money and paying it off on time. And if you have seen my other videos, guys, I will show you how to pay off your credit cards correctly, in which I do have other videos about. And you're going to focus on, like I said, paying it off correctly, and your credit score is going to rise. After that, you want to apply for different types of credit. So credit cards, charge cards, just naturally as life goes on, you're going to be getting different responsibilities. So you're going to get that mortgage, you're going to get a car, all of that's going to build your credit. But never ever apply for a line of credit just to build credit. It's not going to be worth the money that you're spending. The whole point about your credit score is to either help you save money or build money. So let all those different types of credit come naturally. But I would recommend getting a credit card as soon as possible, guys, because credit cards are not going to increase how much money you spend. It's just going to be, it's not going to be an amplifier of how much money you make or spend. It's just a different type of payment. So if you have a debit card, right? I don't have one on me right now. Okay, so I do. So this is a debit card right here, right? This is a debit card from Chase that I have. That's a form of payment. You can also get a credit card, which is just the exact same thing, but it's going to be a small mini loan. Think of a credit card as a mini loan. You use another person's money, in this case Chase, if the Chase credit card or whatever credit card, whatever bank you bank with and you get a credit card with, you're going to use their money and pay them off on time. The banks are not going to be the ones that assess your credit score. It's going to be the credit bureaus, which are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Those three are the ones that you're going to want to build a good relationship with, because they're the ones that actually assess your credit score. So yeah, you want to use a bank's money the correct way. And then apart from that, they're going to report that information to the credit bureaus, which then assess your credit score on how good you are with other people's money. That is how to start your credit, right? Getting a credit card. There's a bunch of credit cards out there to start off with, which I have made other videos about. So just go ahead and go watch those on my page as well. But now, how did I use a credit score to actually improve my life? I started a business which is called Credit Speak, in which you're watching me right now. I help people with credit services and credit cards. I help people with credit cards, charge cards, stuff like that, everything regarding credit and credit services. But it wasn't that easy to just... Now, how is it exactly that I use my credit to benefit me and be able to buy this car right here? I use my credit score to my advantage because I understood that your credit score does not matter at all, guys. Do not focus on you having the highest credit score possible. You're doomed to fail. You want to use your credit score to your advantage. So even if your credit score means that it's going to drop a couple of points, that's completely fine, as long as it's making you money or saving you money. That's all your credit score is. The reason why we want a high credit score is because we want to get the best interest rates on that house, car, loan, credit card, stuff like that. So what I would highly recommend for you guys is to look into investment opportunities so that you can invest your money into, even if that means your credit score sometimes going down. So for example, this is just one example. This car right here, I'm going to be using this car for content content reasons and networking opportunities, and all of this was put on my credit. Now, let's say this is just one small example, but let's say something more tangible to everybody else out there. If you're gonna start a business, you want to apply for a business credit card. And now, why are business credit cards very, very important? I myself have a business credit card, which is the Business Plus from American Express. Very powerful card. It's not the only one out there, but that's the card that I use myself. The reason why a business credit card is very, very beneficial to your credit profile and to elevate whatever business it is that you're trying to start is because, first of all, it's completely separate from your credit profile, your personal credit profile, which means if you rack up a high balance on a business credit card, it's not going to affect your personal credit score, which means, and whenever you apply for a business credit card and a personal card, they're only going to check your personal score. So I'm not saying to damage your business credit score, but it won't be too bad for you to rack up a high balance on a business credit card because it's not going to affect your personal score. And they only check your personal score to get you approved for a credit card. So I would recommend for you guys to get a business credit card for only that reason. But then also there's another reason, which is that they give you high limits. Banks know that for businesses, you need high limits in order to scale up the business. So they give you very high limits on business credit cards, especially if you have built a relationship with the bank, which is very, very important. And I always teach on TikTok and on Instagram that you build a relationship with a bank early on. So if that's with American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citi, Wells Fargo, the Navy Federal, everything like that, I would highly recommend American Express and Chase, since those are the ones that I've found the most success in and it's easiest to build a relationship with them. But I mean, if y'all do have a question about which credit cards to go for, then just send me a message on Instagram. It's going to be the first link in the description of this video. But apart from that, the reason why business credit cards are also very, very good for your credit profile or for you to invest into yourself is because business credit cards also come with 0% APR offers. That's if you get approved for a good credit card. Some credit cards, like I just said, have 0% APR for 12 months. What that means is that for 12 months, you are not going to be charged any interest for the balances that you carry over for 12 months, which is very, very beneficial because let's say this is how I use my business credit card. Whenever I was starting up Credit Speak, which is helping people with their credit services, I was not short on cash, but I did not want to use my money. Like I said, you hear everybody say, use other people's money, leverage other people's money, OPM. That's exactly what I did. I leveraged the bank's money in which they gave me 0% for 12 months and started my business with that capital. So I bought equipment, I bought cameras, I bought a second phone, laptops, computers, a PC, a desk, a little studio in my house. All of that was all on the business credit card. And only until my business was successful, I started to pay off that credit card, but months and months later, which is why this is very, very applicable for absolutely any business that you have out there. So it can be for lawn mowing business or a pressure washing business or a convenience store business, whatever business it is that you're trying to start and you're wanting to borrow capital. That's exactly why it's very beneficial for you to use a business credit card. So that's my number one tip that I have for absolutely everybody out there. Is if you're trying to start a business, do not use your own money, guys. You can buy time with a 0% APR credit card. What I simply mean by that is that you are basically getting the bank to let you borrow money with no expense at all, but you do have to pay it off, and that's completely normal. That's fine. It's not free money. But then after that, something that you're able to do is for your everyday transaction, guys, you can actually get free rewards, free trips, and free travel on all the transactions that you make. So for example, guys, all my business transactions, all of my personal transactions are all put on credit cards. First of all, because credit cards are always way more secure than debit cards and cash. You are never going to be able to build credit with cash or a debit card because there's no way for them to track how responsible you are being with other people's money. And like I said in the beginning of this video, you want to be responsible with other people's money, and that's going to build your credit score. So by you paying with a credit card, not only is it going to build your credit, but it is also going to be so much more coverage for all your transactions. If you apply for good credit cards, which are probably 90% credit cards, they're going to have purchase protection, which means that if you buy a scam, right, or if you buy something that does not promise to be a service or a product that does not promise to be what it's supposed to be, you can actually get coverage on that because you use the credit card, because that's the bank's money for a short amount of time. That's all a credit score is. It's a small loan that's a 30-day window. That's basically what a loan is, or sorry, a credit card is, a very tiny loan. But that's another reason why to use credit cards. But one of the main reasons why I use credit cards is because they give me free trips and free cash back. I don't really focus on cashback too much because these banks are in partnerships with hotels and airlines. So they're able to give you so much more rewards if you were to book it with travel rather than cashback. So what I do is, for example, I got approved for the American Express Gold Card. The American Express Gold Card, I got it with a 60,000 sign-up bonus points. So 60,000 points, they'll give them to you if you spend $6K in the first 6 months. It always changes, but that's the offer that I got introduced to, and I got approved for that offer. All those 60,000 points were able to book me a round trip to Atlanta from Austin, Texas, round trip, and also 3-night hotel stay in a downtown location in Atlanta hotel. Very nice hotel. So for money I was already going to spend, or that was just a welcome bonus of just like for free for getting into the ecosystem of the Amex Gold Card. That was free. But then also, credit cards give you rewards. There are point earning credit cards and cashback cards. If you like to travel, I would highly recommend point earning credit cards. And even if not, you can also redeem those points into free cashback. So I would recommend points. And even if you don't travel, that doesn't mean that you can't get approved for one of those cards. Even if you do not travel, those point earning credit cards can allow you to travel. So whenever I tell people that the Amex Gold Card or the Venture X or the Platinum Card are travel credit cards, they say, well, I don't travel, so I don't think it's gonna be beneficial to me. Or the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserved. I always tell them, well, these cards are going to allow you to start doing that because you're going to be earning points for your everyday transactions. So the very, very, very day that you apply for one of these credit cards that are very powerful to your credit profile, not only are they going to strengthen your credit profile, but you're also going to be earning a free trip just from that. And I'm going to be going to Europe next, or in about 2 months, and that's all on credit card points as well. And right now, I'm going to be completely honest, I have around 800,000 credit card points. 800,000 credit card points. And that trip that was worth to Atlanta, that was worth around $1,500 to $1,600 was all free. Those are 60,000 points. So imagine how much free travel I'm having at 800,000 points. Whenever 60,000 points was around $1,500 to $1,600. So I would highly recommend, guys, it's money you're already going to spend. So just transition into those credit cards rather than your debit cards alone, because the debit cards are not even going to help you. They're just going to harm you, in which are bad, which is bad because no rewards, no free travel, no cashback, no security on your transactions. It just does not make sense at all. And now a little bit about this car and how I was able to purchase it is because I've been able to build my credit profile the correct way. And only in less than 2 years, I was able to actually get approved from the banks for the loan of this car, and plus a little bit of down payment, which is completely normal. But all of that was because I was able to build a good relationship with these banks and also just prove to them that I'm good with other people's money. So whenever they ran my credit, I was able to show that I have a good credit profile. I'm responsible with other people's money. I have a good credit auto loan. Previous to this one, auto loan, charge cards, credit cards, all paid on time. I opened up even a self-account loan, which is just a small loan that's kind of like a savings account that builds you credit. I probably will make a video about that later on. But just giving your profile credit, make sure it's going to be very, very important. And I was able to get approved for this car with an 8.25 APR, which is not terrible being 20 years old, which is not terrible at all. And especially in this economy, that's not the best. So that was all being proven by the fact that I was actually being responsible with other people's money. So that's what I would highly recommend, guys. Just get a credit card. That's all it starts off with. Get a credit card, either a secured credit card, which are one of the easiest credit cards to get approved for, or if you bank already with a good bank. So if you have Chase, Wells Fargo, a debit card with any of those two, or any debit card that you have with a bank, check if they have a beginner starter credit card, because more than likely they trust you in their ecosystem because you have already built that relationship with them, and they'll be like, you know what, he's had a debit card, he manages his money correctly. And even if you don't, you just building that relationship with them is going to take you very, very far. And more than likely 9 times out of 10 you will get approved for a starter credit card with that bank. Obviously do not go for the craziest credit cards that they offer, but you know, get one of the easiest credit cards it is, because if you can skip a secure credit card, that's going to be number one. I would highly recommend first going from your bank, even if it's not the best bank ever. Try and get approved for a credit card with them. And if not, then resort to something like a Capital One secure credit card or a Discover Cashback, which is a very, very good card as well. Discover secure credit card, Discover student card. Discover is going to be very, very good for you to get your first credit card and get the ball rolling into your credit journey. But guys, you never ever want to use your money. That's how the richest people get rich. That's how Elon Musk acquired Twitter, which is now X. He actually put that on credit. He did not spend his own money to purchase that. He used credit, which is other people's money. Look into it. It's true. Even the rich, more than anybody, the rich know how to use the credit correctly. You want to know exactly how to use the credit system correctly. It's not about gaming the system. It's not about knowing or doing some bad stuff. It's about you understanding the credit game, how to pay down your credit cards and your credit portfolio. So that's going to be the next topic. There's 5 factors that make up the entirety of your credit score, guys. The most important credit factor is going to be payment history. Payment history is 35% of your credit score, which is you paying off your credit cards and any credit account on time. 35% of your score. That's already almost 50%. Payment history, okay? A late payment will also be on your credit profile for 7 years, so you want to make sure to never ever miss a payment. Second is credit utilization. This is only applicable for credit cards, so any utilization that you're reporting on a credit card is going to be bad. You want to stay below 10% utilization. So if you have a credit card with whatever it is, but let's say for example $1,000 limit, you want to make sure that you're reporting less than 10% utilization, which is $100. That's credit utilization. Third is going to be credit age. Credit age, first off, is not how old your first credit card is. It's the average amount of time that all your accounts combined have been open. So it's very important for you to actually time your credit card applications the correct way. Don't just apply for one credit card and think, oh, my credit age is good because I applied 5 years ago. No, because the second that you apply for your second credit card, it's going to drop it down to the average of both accounts. And if you open a third account, it's going to take the average of those 3. So you always want to be safe when applying for your credit cards. You want to know when to apply for them. And my number 1 tip for that is to apply for multiple credit cards as soon as possible. Now, that's the third, credit age, which is 15% of your score. Your fourth, that's already 80%, guys. Your 3 most important credit factors is already 80% of your score. So those are the most important to pay attention to. Next up is going to be credit mixture. Credit mixture is going to be, once again, like I explained earlier, the mixture of credit. The bureaus and banks do not just want to see one type of credit account on to your name. So not just credit cards. They want to see credit cards, charge cards, installment loans, mortgages, student loans, auto loans, stuff like that. Different forms of credit mixture. Because like I explained earlier, if you walk into a dealership and you and somebody else is competing for the exact same car, y'all have the exact same credit score. If the other person has a thicker credit profile, they're obviously going to favor them because they are being responsible with different forms of credit, not just one, which is credit card. So even if you have 20 credit cards, you have no credit mixture because you only have one type of credit. That's going to be 10% of your score, like I just mentioned. Now, fifth is going to be new inquiries or hard inquiries. New credit is called. That's whenever a hard inquiry is basically a demerit on your credit profile. So it's kind of just like a negative a point. Those hard inquiries happen whenever one of 3 reasons. Either you apply for a new line of credit. So whenever you apply for a new line of credit, you're going to get a hard inquiry. Whenever you ask for a credit limit increase for your credit cards and stuff like that, that's another hard inquiry. And third is whenever you actually, they check your credit profile. So whenever you go to the dealership and they run your credit to see how good your credit profile is, them checking your credit is also going to be a demerit on your credit profile. So you always want to be safe and know when banks are going to actually run your credit, because it's actually going to mess you up. And if you have a lot of hard inquiries on your credit profile, it's actually going to be very, very damaging to your credit profile, because it's going to make you look very, very desperate for more money or just applying for new lines of credit. And this is just a big overview on what credit is. I know every single one of the topics that I just mentioned needs a different sort of video for it specifically, but I mean, that's all on my page. I'm going to be posting about the exact credit ladder that you should be applying for, how to actually finance a car all on credit, business credit, free trips on credit, just vlog styles on what my day-to-day looks like and how I use credit cards to my advantage and to actually make money from credit cards. So make sure to subscribe, guys. I have a bunch of videos coming out. I have one coming out this upcoming week on the exact credit profile that you want to have in order to raise your credit score, and the exact portfolio on which credit cards you should have in your wallet. So basically the top 5 credit cards that you should be having in your wallet. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.